Okay, everyone ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome. It's a safer day in Indian River County. I can assure you of that. Ironically, this is also Victims' Rights Week throughout the state of Florida. We have a homicide to speak about today. Joining me today on the right are two very seasoned homicide detectives, Detective Charlie Clark and Detective Kevin Heinig. This case started with our victim. In July 27th, 2014, in the early morning hours, the victim, Kevin Howe, was renting a hotel room at the Hampton Inn on State Road 60 and I-95. We know that he rented that hotel, on the evening of the 26th. And our first call of service was at 6:35 a.m. of a shooting in that hotel room, room 313. Our deputies arrived, found a white male clinging to life. He was immediately transferred to Longwood Regional Hospital, where unfortunately he expired on July 31st of 2014. Within the hotel room, the detectives and our crime scene unit went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, to include a styrofoam cup there that you see. It is from a Kangaroo convenience store. Obviously, in today's age, we process the scenes very thoroughly with an outstanding crime scene unit and located DNA on that Kangaroo cup. Detective Heinig and Detective Clark began piecing this case together immediately. Traveled throughout the state of Florida numerous times, in fact, over 15 times to the area where one of our suspects lived. Interesting to note, Kangaroo does not have any stores in Indian River County. These homicide detectives went to every Kangaroo up and down the 95 corridor and located it in Seminole County. Within the hotel room was a bottle of vodka. Within the vodka and other things that you see were latent fingerprints that, as everyone knows, sometimes takes time to have those developed. Additionally, inside the room was 100 grams of crack cocaine, 200 grams of ecstasy, all within the hotel room, obviously of evidentiary value and potential motive value. Just recently, Jason Heiler, 26 years of age, of DeLand, who was immediately on our radar, so to speak, was a person of interest. This person fled to New Jersey. A very detailed story on some of his travel plans and how our detectives traveled to New Jersey a few times, and were able to process that DNA that was on that Kangaroo cup back to Heiler. In fact, we have electronic transactions where we know that in fact he purchased that Kangaroo cup and the drink with it. Also, during this prolonged investigation, the detectives were able to piece together different witnesses, eyewitnesses, ear witnesses, as well as get statements from this person that's been arrested. Heiler has a history, criminal history. He's no stranger to the criminal justice system, and we are very proud that he is in custody today. Along with Heiler was his associate, 20 years of age at the time of the murder, Javon Roberts of Sanford. We know was traveling with Heiler in an unfortunate career criminal evening, if you will. We have evidence that indicates they were in the criminal enterprise as well. Fingerprints on that bottle of vodka matches Roberts, as well as statements, as well as eyewitnesses and ear witnesses. With the assistance of the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, and these two fine homicide detectives, he was taken into custody last week. Fingerprints throughout the crime scene. We brag about our crime scene unit as the best in the state of Florida every chance we can. One of the best fingerprint analysis in the country. Assist Indian River County Sheriff's Office obviously does a fantastic job and was able to identify, without a doubt, Javon Roberts' fingerprints all over that vodka bottle. That crime scene is as it was the morning of the 27th of July. These are some of the things that were developed throughout this case. This is a case, ladies and gentlemen, that also revolves around essentially every criminal investigation tool that you can imagine, from electronic devices to physical evidence to statements to, again, our bullet trajectory analysis that our crime scene unit conducted to solidify this case. This case took thousands of hours between these two detectives to solve, to prepare warrants for the State Attorney's Office. Mr. Bruce Colton's office did a fine job with us. We know that this is a solid case. And we know that it's a safer day in Indian River County, and these two criminals hopefully will be going away for a long time. As this is Victims' Rights Week, we do have Mr. Howell's family here, his mother, his aunt, and his stepfather. In a few moments, you'll have the opportunity to speak with them. Their statements are going to be pretty basic in light of the upcoming trial that we have. What a case, with all of the travels and things that came along the way, cannot make us more proud of this agency. The victim's family, their patience was truly remarkable, losing a loved one of such a young age, and our homicide detectives being in contact with the family on and on. And we just appreciate their patience. So the message today is that when a homicide occurs in Indian River County, we have the team, we have the technology, and we have the experience to track you down and find you. If you are involved or a witness of any type of homicide, and we know about it, you're going to jail. It's that simple. We have too many cases, whether homicide or not, that our witnesses are not seeing something or saying something. So we plea in honor of Victims Advocate Week that you come forward with any of that information. We have other cold cases that we're working on, and we are very close to solving those, and we cannot wait to satisfy those victims as well. Any questions?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
How important was it for you to track that Kangaroo Cup? Did you see video when you went to the convenience store of the suspects?
Yeah, we knew obviously there was not a Kangaroo store in the area. Our detectives were familiar with the Kangaroo brand in other parts of the state. They had to go to every one, track down where he was, and find some evidence, either video or electronic transactions, as what he was purchasing. In fact, he was purchasing cranberry juice, perhaps as a mixture for his vodka. I tell you that the DNA, the fingerprints, this is a case that has everything collectively in it. And we work with our partners, not only with the prosecutor's office, but our partners with the United States Marshal's office, as well as the other local authorities in New Jersey, as well as here in Florida, in Seminole County, and being able to apprehend these fugitives. And the statements that they made upon arrest are certainly going to assist in our prosecution of the case.
What did they say?
They made statements that indicates that they were there at the hotel room, which we knew, obviously they were there by some other technology tracking issues that we were able to utilize, and then piece back the scene. And oftentimes, you may not realize that the crime scene processing is so vital. And if we have to hold a scene for a day or 2 days or 3 days, it doesn't matter. We're going to hold that scene because absent that, your evidence is gone. Would you like to speak with the victim's family now? Mr. and Mrs. Coakley, come on up. And Ms. Rosario. Again, they've been very patient with us. They've worked closely with our victims advocates, and this is a very trying time for them, and we certainly hope that you respect that. Mr. Howell's mother.
Where do I talk?
Mr. Tanner.
I just want to thank all of the detectives that have been involved in this.
Let me just get this down. Sorry about that. This is unimportant. I can hear you. Let me get this out of your face. Pardon me.
We just want to thank everybody that's been involved in this case. I couldn't be happier than the work that they put in and the time that they put in to find these people. And it's just something that a parent will never get over. I miss my son. That's all I have to say, and I want to thanks Detective Moore for him pushing it even more to get it done. I just thank everybody that was involved in this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coakley.
We just really want to thank all agencies involved, the county sheriff and the detectives, and they've been very prudent and understanding on our behalf because we've been on the phone. And, you just have to actually, we knew this day would come because we turned it over to God, and it happened. You just have to have patience, and it's hard. It's a hard road, and I don't wish it on anybody, but it happens. And my heart goes out to the perpetrators' families as well, because they've lost their children in this mess. And life's all about choices. It's the choices you make, and you have to think before you make these choices. That's all. I just want to thank everybody involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, you were talking about pulling the crime scene and having to wait so long. Would you be willing to tell us what that phone call was like when they called and told you?
It wasn't a phone call.
It wasn't a phone call, they came to visit you. Oh, excellent.
Any questions for the detective? Come on up, guys.
That's a good part.
Detective Kevin Heining and Detective Charlie Clark, both with a tremendous amount of experience in high-profile cases. That's why we know any of the other older cases or cold cases will be solved. Technology is catching up to the criminals.
I was going to ask you, what did you do differently in this case that you've done in the past? If you could talk about that.
Nothing differently. We just stuck with the case, pursued every lead. We just didn't stop. When it came to a dead end, we found a way around that and just kept going until we came to a conclusion, able to make 2 arrests in the case.
Do you have any idea why they chose him that night?
I could say they were acquainted. 2 of them knew each other prior to this. They'd known each other for a short amount of time. They had visited each other before.
Was there any doubt in your mind that you would eventually catch up with them, or it would take? It's pretty quick or long.
I didn't have any doubt we would catch up. I mean, we knew who we were dealing with almost right off the bat, but it took a lot of time to process evidence and get the evidence to be able to provide an airtight case to the state when it came time to make the arrest.
How frustrating is it when you know who did it, but you have to wait for the evidence or wait for the process?
It's very frustrating, but there was always something to keep doing in this case, and we always kept moving forward. We always kept the family informed and just kept pushing it.
When you were finally able to arrest both of the suspects, was there anything that they said to you, like, you got me, or any of that kind of stuff?
No, but they both talked about being at the scene, and what they told us helped with our evidence, to put together our evidence to show that they were involved in this crime.
And when does this case go to trial, or does it go to trial?
That's up to the state attorney. It usually takes quite a while.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Indian River County. Anytime. Jana?
We were here yesterday. I don't want.
Good.
Just a real quick
I
one
like
for you.
liquid beer on that.
Yes, sir.
That's really-